it's not popular to be Christian, no less
Correct.
Catholic in Hollywood at all. But and that, there's a lot of material as an actress I just will not do because it is just so against the faith and so evil. And even some of the films that are about evil almost glorify it, make it so frightening. And
13 some question from our viewers. So from Maria Lara Pakulan, how the people or celebrities in Hollywood reacted to your conversion?
I'm sorry, it's so funny. I would say there was a lot of people who knew the old me, and they thought I was crazy. They were like, "What?" Because after a 3.5 year discussion, I walked away from my life savings. I closed the doors to my cosmetic company to go into full-time ministry, not knowing what God was going to do with me. I had no job lined up. So I would say the initial reaction was, I think you've hit your head. I think you're crazy. I think you made this up, But then it's interesting. Some of those very people who were like, this is very strange, have seen God work so many miracles through my ministry. Again, I had nothing, and he just resurrected, thing after thing after thing, miracle after miracle, that they started, the very people who were kind of against it started following the ministry, because there's no denying the work of God, and it's like, this is real. And so I was for anyone who wants to make a change, wants to try to be holier and work, on their faith and their prayer life, don't go by people making fun of you or thinking you're weird or whatever. Like, we should, and I've heard Jim Caviezel say this, like, we weren't made to fit in, we were made to stand out. And don't be embarrassed or ashamed by that. I mean, our life here is so short. So if we're just striving for the things of the world, and we're afraid of what people will think if we try to improve ourselves and get closer to God, and then, it's our last day on the planet, who won that fight, So yeah, that's my advice.
And another question, Hollywood celebrities mostly are Catholic or not? What is your comment about Hollywood making movies that mostly glorify the devil more than God?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's it's not popular to be Christian, no less Catholic in Hollywood at all. But there's a lot of material as an actress I just will not do because it is just so against the faith and so evil. And even some of the films that are about evil almost glorify it, make it so frightening. And and that's just not the reality of spiritual warfare. God is God, and the enemy is real, but he's a created being. So we're not, he's an angel, so we're not supposed to be fighting him, but let God do the fight. And the battle's won. It was won on the cross. It's a done deal. It's over. And so I don't like how Hollywood tries to glamorize the enemy like he's so scary. He's just not. I've seen so much in ministry, and it's not what they show in the horror films. The most horrible thing that we can do, and the greatest horror we can live, is to not know who we are and to live a life without purpose. I think that's where the greater battle is. So these films in Hollywood, again, and even just the sexuality of them. Now there's all this gender confusion. I mean, there's so much, cursing and bad words and taking the Lord's name in vain. And so there's very few things that I would even want to do. But it doesn't intimidate me at all because I'm into producing stuff now and for what God wants on his heart, and it doesn't mean there won't be challenges or everyone in Hollywood's going to say, oh, yay. It just means that it will get done in God's way, God's timing, by his grace, by his strength, and by his will, and that nobody's going to be able to tear that down.